In Unit 1, you're going to be studying a period from the end of Reconstruction all the way up to the beginning of the 20th century, which we oftentimes call the Gilded Age. In this unit that you're going to be looking at, first of all, you're going to be talking about society here in America and what this period, the Gilded Age, meant. The idea of the Gilded Age, the idea of gilding, is something which is shiny and beautiful on the outside, gold-plated, but underneath it's lead or wood, it's valueless. And that's the idea of the Gilded Age. On the surface, America's prospering. Things are going great. Business is booming. America's expanding. But if you look underneath the surface, there's corruption in business, harsh working conditions for those who do the labor. There is corruption in politics. And there's conflict as Americans are moving west, conflicting with the Native Americans, as farmers are fighting to establish themselves on the frontier. And all of this conflict is going on under the surface of what seems to be a prosperous America. Now, the driving force of this Gilded Age is the Industrial Revolution is ongoing. This is oftentimes the period called the Second Industrial Revolution. And new inventions, machinery, and even new business practices are making it possible for American business to grow. Now, the businessmen that you're going to be learning about, giants like Andrew Carnegie, John D. Rockefeller, Jay Gould, J.P. Morgan, some of these guys like this, they often get the term the robber barons, which isn't a completely positive idea. It's, these are successful, prosperous businessmen called by some great entrepreneurs, but other people give them that tag, the robber barons, because although they're profiting, they're stepping on a lot of other people, even crushing other businesses to make themselves successful. Now, as you look at these guys, you're going to see a couple of important changes in the way business is done, especially vertical and horizontal integration. Carnegie was a master of vertical integration, and you're going to see how he took products from the mine to the market, consolidating all the profits within his corporation. Then you're going to see what Rockefeller mastered, creating a monopoly, horizontal integration, where you try to control everybody else at your level of production. And so especially look at those two types of integration in business as you look at the business practices of these great entrepreneurs, these robber barons. You'll also be looking at life for those who are doing all the work in these factories. You'll be learning about the immigrants coming over to Ellis Island in the East Coast and Angel Island out west. People coming, leaving their homes, being pushed by many different things, being pulled to America by many other factors, and you're going to learn about those. You're going to see what life was like once they got to these big cities. You're going to learn about what life was like during this industrial age in the factories, the harsh working conditions, low pay, long hours, and this is all eventually going to lead to reform movements in America. And you're going to learn about living conditions in these growing urban centers, the big cities. But at the same time that all this is going on back east, out west, it's the days of the Old West, the great cattle drives, the last great Indian wars, the cowboys, Indians, sheriffs, and robbers, all of this stuff that's going on that you think of when you think of the Old West. Now, as you look at this part of the unit, you're looking at the conflict between a modern America pushing to the west, conflicting with the Native Americans trying to hold on to their way of life. And you'll see those last great battles and ultimately the solution, which is the reservation system, the Dawes Act, and all the attempts to assimilate Indians into American culture. You're also going to see some of the conflicts arising between farmers and merchants as they try to establish themselves to grow crops, to be able to sell their crops, and you're going to see the railroads coming through and big businesses interfering with that. And all of this stuff in this unit is going to lead to our next unit, which has to do with progressive era reforms. So as you study this unit, look at all of these factors. Go through your study guide and be sure you find the answers to all of the terms that I've identified there for you. And think about what it meant to America to be going through the Gilded Age.